Hello, I'm your psychological mentor, Park Seni. These days, there's a lot of talk about Wuhan, isn't there? So I'm sure many of you are very worried. Currently, I spend most of my time indoors at the center doing counseling and education with only occasional outside appointments. So honestly, I don't worry much. But for those of you who are often outdoors or have a lot of outside activities, I think you must be feeling very anxious. So I'd like to share with you some tips on how to more effectively overcome the Wuhan pneumonia virus. Everyone, humans, are truly beings that are difficult to simply analyze with words. In some ways, there are many rather trivial people in the world. But then there are also people like Admiral Yi Sunday Singh, who are beyond words. How can a human be like that? Why are they so great and extraordinary? Humans can also be beings who give us indescribable inspiration, truly great beings. We are always making that choice. Which path will I take? We can choose to go toward greatness and dignity, or we can end up going down a less admirable path in life. But everyone, human beings, truly are incredible beings that cannot simply be described with words. I've known this fact for a long time and spent my childhood deeply fascinated by it. For example, you know those cults? There were incidents like that in the United States as well. People would drink poison together as a group. Some people died, but others survived. What that means is I am receiving some kind of protection or blessing from God. People who build up these kinds of completely absurd beliefs, it's unfortunate and a bit sad that these are what we call cults, but still, that unwavering faith, the conviction that I am someone under God's protection. People who were able to think this way completely could even survive things like drinking cyanide, showing almost no side effects in their bodies. So humans are truly remarkable. What I set my mind to, what I believe in, can greatly influence even my own body. First of all, when it comes to immunity, there is a lot of evidence showing that your mindset can make a huge difference in your immune system. If you read the book, you will be able to feel and understand these related things yourself. But ever since I was very young, around 28, when I started creating classes and developing psychology courses that didn't exist in the country, there were parents who were also Oriental medicine doctors. As a group, these doctors asked me to teach them hypnosis techniques because they wanted to incorporate them into medicine. So most of those people were graduates of the Department of Korean Medicine at Wong Kong University, and at the time they were a bit older than me. I taught hypnosis techniques to those practicing doctors, and at that time I would demonstrate things like the O-ring test. I have them close their eyes and put themselves in a positive mindset for a moment, and then I have them make an O-ring with their fingers, and I try to pull their fingers apart like this. I'm actually quite strong, more than I look, so usually I can pull their fingers apart pretty easily, but if I deliberately pick someone among the doctors who has a similar build or is really strong and ask them to hold tight, when they're in a truly positive state of mind, it's incredibly hard to pull their fingers apart. Of course, I can still do it because I'm strong. But there have been people where I really had to use all my strength to pull their fingers apart. However, if I make that same person have even a brief negative thought, like making them feel like an orphan, or by giving them some negative cues to disrupt their emotional state, then even if I tell them to grip even harder during the O-ring test, their fingers come apart easily. You should try this experiment with your family members as well. Once you experience it, you'll realize it's true, and you'll really feel the importance of emotional control and always maintaining the right mindset. But in any case, even if you do this for just a few dozen seconds, the results show up immediately in people. If you do it for several minutes, the effect becomes more pronounced. Imagine if this continues for hours or even decades. When you think positively, your energy is immediately amplified, meaning your natural healing ability is also maximized. Natural healing ability, when your natural healing ability is maximized, you can block any virus from the start and be better equipped to overcome it. For example, when we watch documentaries, we see people who are living incredibly difficult lives. If you look at places like hillside villages, you see people really struggling with no money, living through tough times. And then even more hardships come their way. Sometimes it shows things like their children being diagnosed with incurable diseases or other such hardships. You might think, how could the heavens be so indifferent? Why would a family already struggling so much be burdened with something as cruel as an incurable disease? You can feel this sense of frustration, but in reality, this is like a kind of law or principle, in fact. If you keep living with depressing thoughts and a downcast mindset, you find that there are many people like that around you. And when negativity is widespread like this, your body can absorb that negativity as well. This is what we call somatization. It's truly unfortunate, but things like incurable diseases can even develop in the body as a result. That's why I think having the right mindset is more important now than ever. Always try to read a lot of good books so you can maintain a more positive outlook. There are so many people who ask me to recommend books. Honestly, I do want to give recommendations, but if I were to start recommending books, I guess I'd become what you call a booktuber, right? I could probably do a pretty good job as a YouTuber who reviews books too. If I also share my own impressions, I think it would be a great help to you. But the reason I haven't really done it is because there are so many different people who subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, and I worry that if I recommend books, it might end up being too biased in one direction. That's why I've been putting it off, telling myself I'll do it later. However, from now on, I do plan to occasionally review books that have truly moved me so that I can share my impressions with you and help you feel what I felt as well. So please look forward to it. Of course, right now, things like washing your hands are the most important. Wearing a mask in public places is also extremely important. But once you've done those things well, the next important thing is to believe in the power of human beings. Strengthening your immune system is something that depends on your own mind. It depends on how you think. If you always keep this mindset, I believe you can overcome things like the Wuhan pneumonia and anything else. So humans are truly amazing, everyone. Believe in your own incredible strength, and I hope you will overcome the current situation well. It might also be good to remember the saying, this too shall pass. Everything will pass eventually, so always stay strong. I'll see you next time with an even better video. Please make sure to subscribe and like and visit often. Thank you.